Good evening, Lake Orion. Let me tell you, if you think it's hot outside, wait till you see this show. My name's Dean Witherspoon, and I am between Taorminas.
You know it's storming out here, isn't it? You know it's storming out there, isn't it?
Heat advisory in effect till tomorrow.
Well, thank you for joining us this beautiful day. How you doing?
It ain't beautiful.
You know, it's sad, Anthony. This is a sad day. You know, it's a good day because we're all alive and healthy, but it's sad because this is his last episode.
Why?
You just said you're changing shows.
I'm not changing shows, no.
You just said you're going on baking with best friends.
I never
For good.
said that.
For good.
I never said that.
I thought
Both
that,
of you two should go on baking with best friends, and I'll just be the guest. I'll be the host.
you just a one half hour
Of course.
soliloquy with Anthony.
Of course.
Yeah, that should,
I like soliloquy.
that should drive ratings. So, you got any final words here, or you want to save it till the end?
Save it to the end.
All right. Well, it's mid-July. It's a slow sports period. But we have the Midsummer Classic coming up, okay? So that means it's time for mid-season grades, mid-season deliberations with the Tigers. And I guess we'll just start by one sentence each of your thoughts on this season so far. Could be, you know, it's overwhelming, underwhelmed, ba 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 ba. Who's going first? One sentence.
Disappointing.
One word. Disappointing. Okay? Your word or sentence.
I would say achievement.
Achievement. Interesting. Can you expound on that a little bit?
They are 10 games over 500. They're doing what fans expect them to do, which is lead the Central. You've got Cabrera leading off the attack as far as the home runs for the Tigers. It's a very well balanced machine. Jackson with the leadoff spot is leading off the Tigers, setting the tone. Torrey Hunter, a very good surprise. Well, I wouldn't say surprise. He gets better every year with age. Prince Fielder, Victor Martinez, Johnny Peralta, doing very, very well. You got to give some credit to Alexei Tuiasosopo. Sorry about that.
Matt Tuiasosopo.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just Avila. It's a well-oiled machine. I mean, top to bottom, it's a well-oiled machine. Even Santiago's doing pretty good with the absence of Infante. And then the pitching, Scherzer, despite the one game with Texas, doing great so far. Verlander, not being Verlander, but still getting the job done. Fister had some rocky starts, had a nice bounce back, and then he had Porcellos doing pretty well. Smiley, I would say, Drew Smiley, is the MVP in a sense. He's kind of reduced his role from a starting pitcher to a reliever, and he's doing quite well with it.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Are the Tigers paying you?
No.
Okay. You're
just
thrilled.
stating it.
Okay.
Here's
This
why
guy-
the Tigers are a disappointment.
This guy's
They're
the
a
other
game and
side.
a half up on Cleveland.
Who, by the way, how many wins do they have, Cleveland?
Cleveland, I think they got 50 wins.
50-something, right? That's
Yeah.
their first time
And
being
here's
at that
the thing.
mark at the All-Star break
Here's the thing.
in 6
Here's
years.
the thing. If everybody thought the Tigers were going to kill the Central Division, they're not doing it right now. When you look at, they lost 2 or 3 to the Chicago White Sox of all teams, and you look at them.
But they won 2 out of 3 with Texas.
Yeah,
Of
but
all
you gotta
teams.
you gotta win games in your division. You gotta win.
Which the Tigers
series
have been
in your
doing.
division. But they gotta go to Kansas City. They gotta go to Chicago. Which, of course, Kansas City can be. Kansas City can be really tough.
Yo, Kansas. How many fans are gonna be there? 7?
Well, Kansas City's got a pitching staff. So let's look at what the Tigers have been. They're still hitting into Prince Fielder's starting to struggle a little bit. He's starting to hit balls out of left field.
That'll give you.
Alex Avila's been having a really tough tough
Yes,
year.
he has.
And then, of course, Austin Jackson's been out for at least a month during the year. And
Have you been
look at-
in a coma for a while? He's back.
He's
Doing pretty
back.
well.
And then, of course, you look at this Tiger team, their bullpen is still the same. I mean, even though they addressed it a little bit better now with Joaquin Benoit now closing
What about
games.
Bonderman coming back?
But you also look at what the Tigers have. I mean, the schedule still got to go to Boston. They got to go to New York. And that's still going to be very, very tough, very difficult series.
If Cleveland keeps winning and the Tigers keep winning, eventually this Cleveland fairy tale is going to end. The Tigers have so much more talent than Cleveland, it's ridiculous.
Can't Cleveland be a decent team, though?
I think Cleveland can be a playoff team.
Can't they be a decent team?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they could be a decent team.
The real-
So then how does that-
Terry Francona's done a magnificent job with.
So then how does that take away from the Tiger season if Cleveland is also a good team?
Well, if you look
We're still up.
if you look at Cleveland,
We still slaughter them head to head.
well,
yes.
if you look at with Cleveland, I mean, like Justin. I know that Justin Masterson's done very magnificently, except for until they play one certain team.
Named?
And then isn't it Motor City Kitties?
Bingo.
And then you got to look at Ubaldo Jimenez. I think he's going to get back. Cleveland needs a starting pitcher at the trade deadline.
Yes.
Watch out for Matt Garza. Matt Garza, I think, is going to go to Cleveland.
Right now, the Tigers,
Chicago.
if the playoffs were today, wouldn't they be third? The Tigers behind Boston and Oakland.
I think they have the 5th best record.
You think that's fifth?
I don't remember if that's in the AL.
But
or
I
the
mean,
league.
you got the three division leaders are your top three, aren't they?
Right. Yes.
So,
yes.
but the Tigers would be third.
Right. Yes. Okay. So both of you presented good cases. Yours on the much more positive. Yours on the much more negative. So allow me to take the two ends of the Taorminas spectrum and let me balance it right now. The fact remains, in 2011, at this point, the Tigers were 6 games above 500, right? They went on to win the division by 15 games. Last year, they were up 3 or 4 games above 500. They went on to win the division by 3 games. Right now, they're 10 games up above 500. I think there's no way they don't win this division and running away, okay? The trade deadline's coming up. You mentioned Matt Garza. I think there's going to be a bidding war for him. Teams like Cleveland, Texas needs some starting pitching. You know what I mean? Maybe even the Giants. Who knows? The Dodgers. You know what I mean?
I know the Dodgers
What
do.
do the Tigers, they don't need Matt Garza. What do they need and how many of them?
They need to, I think, to get their bullpen in straight in line.
How many relievers?
I think
how many
they
arms?
I think they need a certain buy closer because you don't know how long Joaquin Benoit is going to last. I look at Milwaukee, got Francisco Rodriguez available, John Axford available, and then like Milwaukee, I think is a good place to look at. But also you got Chicago with Jesse Crane when he comes back. I also think that Jonathan Papon's an outreach because I don't think he's going to come. But I think Jesse Crane might make the best sense for this team.
So just one arm.
Just one.
Give him one arm and you're happy.
Yeah, or make Drew Smiley the closer. If you
Whoa,
want to.
I think Benoit's been doing just fine if we're going to stay in house.
I would say keep in house. Maybe one thing you might not agree with me, but put Jeremy Bonderman as a reliever. I would say put him as a reliever.
Tomorrow. Right away?
I would say give him a few games in AAA. See how he does there. See how he does there. Then move him up.
Is he going to bring Papa Grande with him?
No.
Good.
But, to close this out, I want to go back to Cleveland and Detroit for a minute. It kind of reminds me a lot of the race between Oakland and IUPUI back in 2010 when IUPUI was down, lost by like 1 game, 2 game, and we had Oakland to keep winning, because we finished 17-1 that year. They finished 15-3.
Winning cures all, right?
Yes.
All right. Hey, when we come back, we're going to get into the Pistons right here on Between Taorminas. Hey, welcome back to Between Taorminas right here on ONTV. And it's so far for the Pistons been an interesting offseason, right?
Yes, it has.
I
A lot of
hope
money
they have
to
enough
spend.
salary cap space for 2014.
Why? What do you mean?
Because that's a big free agent market. coming up.
Well, I don't know. We'll
Usually
see.
the Pistons seem to always, whenever it comes to big free agent market, they don't spend much on the big free agent market.
Well,
And I blame Karen Davison for all that.
the
problems.
Pistons are not a team that is ever in the free agent market because the NBA is a unique league. Whereas if you look at the NFL, how many people would die to play for the Green Bay Packers?
A lot.
Is Green Bay a big place where people want to live?
No.
No.
In the NBA,
Seems
it
like
seems-
Miami.
it seems like more players
Or
would
Los
rather
Angeles.
go somewhere and suck,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a destination, the city. You know what I mean? So places like Detroit, Milwaukee, you know what I mean? They're not going to get free agents. They have to build through trades and draft.
But it seems like the stars want to go to Miami or go to Los Angeles or
Right,
go to
exactly.
Houston.
Or New York.
Exactly.
York.
Free agents.
Yeah.
Or New
How
Brooklyn.
many people would rather go play for the Knicks, who haven't done anything ever, well, in a long time?
Well, the reason why a
Right
lot
on
of people
test.
go play for the New York Knicks is because New York is probably the biggest market in the NBA besides them and Brooklyn.
I would say L.A.
Well, a lot of people say LA, but New York is.
I wouldn't mind playing. I would like to the Los Angeles lifeline, especially with the Los Angeles Lakers. Though the Clippers are the better team right now. The Lakers, I mean, just the traditions, just the honor, and same thing with the Boston Celtics.
Okay,
Just
those are
being-
those two teams, sure. But like New York Knicks, they
That's
attract free
because of
agents.
Yeah, they attract free agents, but they have to pay it like a luxury tax that's so ridiculous. It's
All
not
right.
even funny.
Well, let's.
I mean,
if
Larry
you-
Bird said something about this when he's now the new GM at Indiana.
Again,
Again, he said that small market teams have a big disadvantage
There's-
when it comes
when it
to
comes to
getting
free agents.
Big free agents, yes.
That's unique to the NBA, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, you know what I mean. All right. With the Pistons, though, tomorrow there's gonna be a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
They're welcoming somebody back.
Yep.
This is not a good move, bringing back Will Bynum.
No.
Oh, it's Chauncey Billups.
Yes.
Oh, that is a good move then.
Yeah. You like that move?
I do like that move.
Okay. So.
I agree with Sammy. I think it's a good move because you look at Chauncey Billups provides veteran experience. He's been on the Pistons before. He knows he's a proven winner. He's been the MVP. He's a fan favorite in Detroit. And also, he provides veteran leadership for somebody, say, for example, like a Brendan Knight or somebody like a Will Bynum or, and he did serve as a mentor to Rodney Stuckey in the past before as well. So, I mean, I would say it's a good move to have somebody like a Chauncey Billups in my locker room, leading the way for my team. You know who else is good? Assistant coach Rasheed Wallace. I
agree.
never thought I'd see the day Rasheed Wallace be back on the Pistons as an assistant coach.
Is Chauncey Billups? Is he anything more than a veteran locker room presence?
He's got something left because
You think so?
he can still shoot the three ball well. He can, he brings that leadership from the front court. I think Brandon Knight can learn from him. I think that these young guards that they're looking at, but there's another guy who I think that, this Italian sharpshooter. I like him a lot. He can shoot anywhere.
Gigi Datome.
Yeah, I think he can do well for this team.
We'll see. You know what? I think they got him at a good price if he pans out. But you mentioned a name that I'm wondering if this man will still be on the roster come fall, and that is Brandon Knight. Thoughts?
I don't think he will be.
You think that he's
Because-
got to move?
I think, yeah. If you look at it here, I think that Brandon Knight does not fit. I think what the Pistons bring. I think that I can see a big trade coming up. Big trade coming. I would send Brandon Knight, Tri Villanueva, Rodney Stuckey, all in a package to Boston for Rajon Rondo.
Rajon.
You know what you'd get if you got that?
What?
I'm Danny Ainge, Boston's GM. You're Joe Dumars. You say that to me. I go like this. Hang up the phone.
Why?
He wants
Because-
Andre Drummond or Greg Monroe.
in addition to what you just offered me.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rondo can be a premier player in this league, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Is Rodney Stuckey, his expiring contract, something valued?
Well,
No.
Boston
No.
would.
But
Boston
Boston
would
is
gladly take the
rebuilding,
expiring
honestly.
contract.
They would take expiring contracts, but they need some talent. They're
Rodney
giving away their
Stuckey.
franchise. They're giving away 2 huge pieces. Now they have a 27-year-old championship-winning point guard. They don't want to. They can't part with him for an unproven player like Brandon Knight. I'm just saying you got to come better than that.
I would say that I would say Brendan Knight is going to stay on with the Pistons. I don't think I think that Boston wants to make it work with Rajon Rondo, and I think the Pistons will try to make it work with Brendan Knight.
So you think they're going to stay put?
Yes,
Really?
I think so.
I think they gotta get rid of Stuckey and Villanueva.
They got to go.
They gotta go.
They have to go.
They have to go.
I agree.
I'd like to see that number 3 retired for Ben Wallace.
That's what you're concerned with?
Yeah.
I'd like to see him put a different
No,
banner
but
up. Another championship banner.
But anyways, on a more serious note though, as far as Stuckey and Villanueva have something to prove now because this is their last year of their contracts.
Those two's gotta go because here's why. You can get somebody of that value for those 2 players. You know, you can look at maybe dumping them for some salary
Rodney
cap space
Stuckey's a
because
nice
the
guy.
2014 season that's the big free agent market. I mean, like there's a lot of people coming out in the books. I mean, like I think that if you dump those 2 guys' salaries, that will help out a lot when it comes to salary contracts.
So who do you foresee the Pistons needing from the free agency pool in 2014? Like what position?
Well, I think you can address the guard situation.
Okay, let's play a hypothetical game here. Rajon Rondo's your point guard. Josh Smith is your 4. Drummond's your 5. That's a pretty nice looking core right there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You would tend to think a free agent would want to come to that.
I think Josh Smith, the addition of him, I think it's going to help this team a lot.
Didn't you say last week that Josh Smith would be a bad disservice last week?
I've done some research last week, you know, and I just looked at it could help out maybe.
It's going to be interesting. I think he's either a boom or a bust. You know what I mean?
If he's a bust, kiss him goodbye.
Kiss Joe Dumars goodbye if he's a bust.
That's more likely. Because Josh Smith signed that 4-year contract. Joe D ain't got nothing left.
We'll see.
Okay. So what are you most looking forward to here? Real quick, Pistons season. Name one player you are most looking forward to seeing in a Pistons uniform.
What I'm looking forward to, Andre Drummond.
Okay, great.
Jonas Jerebko. I say it because him and Andre Drummond are your bigger Oakland supporters between the 2.
It's always Oakland with you.
I know.
There's
I'm
always
proud of
something coming right back to Oakland.
it. I'm proud of Oakland.
All right, fair enough. All right, when we come back, we're not talking about anything. We're just going to yell. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is Mickey York from Fox Sports Detroit. When I want to get the inside scoop on local sports, I watch Between Taorminas or Fox Sports Detroit.
We own a Habitat home.
I love working on my Habitat home.
Soy dueño de una casa de Habitat.
My neighbor is a Habitat homeowner.
Being a Habitat homeowner has changed our lives.
My mortgage payment for Habitat is less than what I pay for rent.
Habitat for Humanity of Oakland County currently has homes available with mortgage payments lower than most rent payments. If you or someone you know needs decent and affordable housing, call 248-338-1843 or visit our website at habitatoakland.org.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on Orion Neighborhood Television.
What?
What?
Dead air.
Dead air.
You just had a lot of dead air.
Good thing we're not on the radio.
Yeah. If not, we'd
You
go
both
in
love
trouble.
Pat Caputo.
All right, go ahead, Caputo. Go ahead. Give it to him.
Besides the fact that Ian Weatherspoon's a loser. All right, so my first call out.
Besides that.
My first call out involves. I watched the Lake Orion bond hearing 2013.
You sat through
And
that
I noticed something.
on TV or live?
on TV.
Oh,
I said,
dear Lord.
I noticed that, and I was watching it, and I noticed the mediator, Miss Joanne Van Tassel,
Oh, God.
our former supervisor.
Yeah.
I felt she in the past has done a very, very good job of mediating certain debates. I just felt this one was a little bit rough. Mostly, I can understand the situation about because both sides didn't respect the amount of minutes. But at the same time, when you're mediating something, you try not to be as tense. Try to be as respectful and nice as possible. Ms. Van Tassel, I know you're a good person, but I'm just saying the mediating, I mean, that wasn't one of your best mediating, but I know that when the next time you mediate, you'll do a better job. Trust me.
Oh, boy.
All right, my second call out involves an old friend of mine that just can never seem to get enough of just instigating. Julie Barnes, again. Why? Simple. Look.
Isn't school out?
Thank you.
Simple. You look at your room, room 257. It needs a makeover. It needs to have a nice, loving picture of myself hanging up on there. You know, after all, I am a cult of personality. So that's why I'm saying, Miss Barnes, allow that picture to happen and celebrate with happiness. Get on your knees and bow down to greatness.
Whoa.
My last call out involves a situation where it's a very unique story. When I was a manager at Oakland, we would go to Western Illinois. One thing that our team, particularly Coach Greg Campy, loved was to go to Sunrise Chicken. Sunrise Chicken. You know, it's not a bad place if you look at it. It's a great chicken. But we need to have a Sunrise Chicken here in either in Lake Orion or in Rochester by Oakland University. I know that Coach Campy would definitely come out and love eating Sunrise Chicken. You know, Sunrise Chicken, if you're listening to me, you should definitely have a place down in Rochester. Or, if you're Western Illinois, you should look at playing Oakland. And that would definitely what you'd call be the Sunrise Chicken Bowl Series. Or you can have a Sunrise Chicken Trophy. I think it'd be great. It'd be great for both teams to have a rivalry based off Sunrise Chicken.
You know, I wish I could go there and just eat the night away there. But
Holy Lord.
When you go to my call-outs, you know, first call I'm going to have, this guy threw a no-hitter against me, and it not only hurt my fantasy team, and now I'm losing because of this guy. I'm going to call out, it's Tim Lincecum. Tim Lincecum.
Big time Timmy Jim.
Why? I can't stand you. I have a song named after you, for crying out loud. And the reason why, and I had a big lead until on my opponent this week. Now we're still playing because the All-Star break counted in the second half of the year. But you're the reason why I'm losing! Why? You're the big reason why I'm losing! Why'd you have to throw a no-hitter in San Diego while playing the place of the San Diego Chicken?
Oh, good grief. San Diego Chicken.
Why?
What about his long hair?
You cut your hair off because every time you look at a baseball, it's right over your head and gone. Why? You're a disappointment. You did no hitter. The next time you throw a no-hitter, better not be against me at my expense.
Against oh, good grief.
I want to hear this song.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
It'll be like, Tim Lincecum looking at a baseball. That's how it is. Then my next call out goes to people on this football game coming up in August, of course. A lot of people know about Lake Orion against Oxford coming up. So I read Twitter and I find out Oxford's starting the trash talking. Oxford Wildcats on Twitter. Why? It's only July! I mean, the game's not till August 30th. You got a whole season ahead of you guys.
Whole month.
You got a whole month before Orion plays Oxford. You know, focus on the season. You know, I mean, you just can't put everything towards one game. You know, I know your schedule is very brutal. You got to play South, you got to play Oak Park, you got to play Adams,
Harrison.
And Harrison. I mean, like, you just gotta basically stop with the trash talking, and just focus on your season. I mean, like, training camp, I know, is only a few weeks away. I mean, just focus on your season.
Not on Lake Orion.
Not on Lake Orion. Just focus on your season. And then, of course, my last call out of the day features another show besides Baking with Best Friends.
Oh, good God.
So,
How old are these little girls you're going to call out?
They're not.
Oh.
I'm going to call out the show Orion Now. Orion Now.
no.
What? You have your host right there is like, your host right there has a huge beef with me over the fact that that he had an issue with me. But why? I never did anything to you. Who are you? What in the world is this analytical thing is gone?
Come again?
You've been wanting a piece of me for the last 6 months. I can't believe this guy. Your people you bring into your show, I question. Who are you again? I can't believe this guy. Why? You are aware that this guy that you're questioning is our beloved supervisor, Chris Barnett. That guy needs to be back on the most wanted poster.
He just was.
What?
There he is.
And then he should be tied with Bob down one of these days. Why? Why?
Often I wonder if sitting next to you is a detriment to my reputation at all.
No, it's not.
No? Does
Well,
it help,
let's see.
help
You've
my
called
life?
out 2 ON TV shows. You've called out Baking with Best Friends. Now you've called out Orion Now. Now, speaking of the Oxford thing, I want to those Oxford kids need to be focusing on their
homework.
workouts. Yeah, and not focusing on Lake Orion.
Their
They need
chores.
to stop. They need to stop with the Lake Orion thing until later. Until it's still way too early to tell.
It is too early. It's too early. Of course, the Dragons blog preview will be coming out August 7th.
Right. My personal message to Miss Van Tassel: you still do a great job. You still are a great supervisor. You're still a great Lake Orion citizen. Keep up the good work.
And to the Dallas Stars, keep believing. Keep believing. This will be the year that the Dallas Stars gets in the Stanley Cup playoffs and knocks out and wins what's rightfully mine, and ends the Bill Reese curse.
Goodbye.